Hello students, today we are going to learn about the law of conservation of mass. Now, you all know that matter is made up of tiny particles. Also, you know that the matter is classified into two groups, that is pure substances and mixture. Also, you know that pure substances are classified as elements and compounds, right? Now, the scientists by the end of 17th century, they started thinking of that, how compounds are formed, how elements do combine with each other, what happens when elements combine with each other, how water is formed, how carbon dioxide is formed, how hydrogen gas combine with oxygen gas to produce water. So for these all questions, they started doing different experiments and doing their observation of the experiments. So when lot of experiments they have performed in order to understand what happens when elements combine with each other, how do elements combine with each other to produce compounds, they have done lot of observations for different experiments, and then from their observations of different experiments they given certain generalization. These generalizations are known as law of chemical combinations. Now in that law of chemical combination, the first law is given by Antoine Lavoisier in 1774, known as law of conservation of mass. Now before starting law of conservation of mass, I want to take one example of a tea. Every day we are using we are drinking tea, and for that purpose we are using different ingredients like water, sugar, tea powder, milk, right? So for preparing 1 cup of tea, if I need half cup of water, half cup of milk, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of tea powder, I am boiling all these ingredients for some time and my 1 cup of tea is ready. So can I say that after preparation of the tea, I can say like that the water, milk, tea powder, sugar are destroyed and then tea is formed? No, I can't say like that. The tea is prepared by using these ingredients. So these are the basic requirement of making tea. So sugar, tea powder, water, milk, they all together are required to prepare a tea. So here, these all substances are part of matter and tea is also a matter. So one form of matter is getting converted into another form of matter. There is no destruction of the matter, right? And this is only explained in law of conservation of mass. Now we will see the statement. Now in this statement, during any chemical change, the total mass of the products is equal to the total mass of the reactants. So whenever any chemical change is taking place, so some substances are undergoing chemical change and they get converted into some other substances. So during this process, whatever the total mass of the substances which are undergoing chemical reaction will be the same as that of the new substances formed after the chemical reaction. So in other words, we can say mass can neither be created nor destroyed during any chemical reaction or during any chemical combination. So mass can neither be created nor destroyed. Like that tea, we have taken the example. So when the tea is ready, we cannot say that water, sugar, tea powder and milk are destroyed and then tea is formed. Same way, any chemical change is taking place, then whatever the reactants, that is the basic substances which are undergoing a chemical change, their mass will not be undergoing destruction. it will be changed into another substance, but the total mass of the substances which are undergoing chemical change will remain same for the another substances which are formed after the chemical change. So those substances which are undergoing chemical change are known as reactants, and those substances which are formed after the chemical change are known as products. So here I am taking one example, that aqueous solution of barium chloride and aqueous solution of sodium sulfate. If aqueous solution of barium chloride is placed in a conical flask, and in that same flask a small ignition tube filled with the solution of sodium sulfate is kept with the help of thread, and then the cork is placed on the conical flask. Now this whole assembly, conical flask plus this test tube and these two solutions, I have weighed these two solutions along with this conical flask, cork and ignition tube. Then the mass of this whole assembly I have noted down, right? And after the chemical reaction, when the new substances are formed, means I have tilted the flask so that the sodium sulfate solution mixed with barium chloride solution to produce barium sulfate, which is in the form of insoluble mass known as precipitate, and the solution NaCl is formed during this chemical change. Again I weigh this conical flask. I found that the mass of initial assembly, in which the sodium sulfate and barium chloride solution not mixed with each other, is the same as that of the mass of the conical flask when these two solutions mix with each other and produce new substances. So here I can write the equation for this chemical change in the form of words like barium chloride plus sodium sulfate, which are the reactants, right? They undergoes chemical change. So after the arrow, I am writing barium sulfate and sodium chloride, which are the products of the reaction. So the mass of the reactant, suppose I have initially weighed, it is 350 grams. Mass of the product obtained is also 350 grams. So here there is no loss of mass is taking place during a chemical change, and it proves that a chemical change always obey law of conservation of mass. So there is no destruction of the mass of the reactants to produce products, right? Now I am going to take another example of carbon dioxide, right? Now for a carbon dioxide molecule to form, if I taken 12 gram of carbon which combines with 32 gram of oxygen, it produces carbon dioxide. CO2. Carbon dioxide is having molecular formula CO2, and the mass of the carbon dioxide form is 44 gram. Now I want to check that why this 44 gram I have obtained. What is the initial mass of the reactants? So these two are reactant, 12 gram of carbon and 32 gram of oxygen. These are the reactants. Now if you do the sum of the mass of the reactants, then 12 plus 32, it will be 44 gram. And you are also getting the 44 gram of the product, that is carbon dioxide. So in this way, during formation of carbon dioxide, from carbon and oxygen also, the mass of the reactant will be the same as that of the mass of the products. So here in this chemical change also, there will be law of conservation of mass is obeyed. So I hope student, the law of conservation of mass you understand from these two examples.